primarily there are three reasons why I decided to develop this YX certificate program. First is the changing landscape of teens culture as producers of information rather than consumers. I know that we've kind of heard about this again and again, but also what is really important is because of the changing landscape of teen and how they deal with information, there's also the need for librarians to have design thinking skills to leverage this culture that the teens are into for learning, right? So let me talk a little bit of that about that. So you can definitely see the shifting landscape of new technologies, right? So social media, ubiquitous computing has really led to the emergence of participatory culture. So previously, society sort of embraced experts as producers of information, and kind of public consumes it, right? But now the general public kind of draws upon new media. When I talk about general public, that includes youth. And they can become producers of information, problem solvers, and also even experts themselves. I have a 10-year-old who learns how to draw, right, by looking at YouTube videos, right? Specific type of drawing. He's really into detail-oriented drawing. So these are the things that he's learning from another youth, which, up to maybe 10 years ago, this was not the norm. So with this culture shift, so a movement called design thinking has emerged, which really emphasizes applying these processes and philosophies of designers. So, empathizing with stakeholders, inventing innovative prototypes. How do you then completely, very quickly go through iterative processes to kind of very quickly come up with solutions, right? So this is something that librarians need to embrace to solve new challenges and realize new opportunities. So for librarians to be able to utilize design thinking as a process to design and develop programs and services with youth, they also need to be able to facilitate ways that young adults can actually go through this process, right? So two things. One is the librarians need to be aware of this design thinking processes to design and develop their programs, but at the same time, give these skills to young adults so that they can also do this problem solving of everyday problem and allow them to actually make some progress in their lives using this design thinking process, right? So that's the first reason. I just think that the changing landscape of teen culture and librarians haven't really sort of caught up to it yet, right? The second thing is the emerging importance of the power of teen voices. We kind of just say this in the passing. We need to include teen voices in the design of programs and services. But really, we need to know how to do this, right? So traditionally, librarians have been kind of asking teens in the passing of what they think about programs and services. Most of the time, you get a shrug or you get a short answer. It was great. Or you get an answer like, why are you asking me this, right? That look, right? We can draw from other fields such as human-computer interaction, for example, and learning sciences, where they actually have techniques and methodologies to really engage young adults to provide their voices. And that has been done very successfully in the design of technologies for young children. So since we at the University of Maryland have this expertise, we do have faculty who have been doing this for the past 10 to 12 years. We have new faculty that are coming up with new methods to engage young children, even as young as 3 or 4, to be able to provide voices. So we decided to bring this type of methodologies and techniques into librarianship so that librarians themselves then can practice these methods, engage teens and children to provide their voices in the design of programming and services. I have one more reason and then I'll stop. So the other reason is teens, we all know, are immersed in technology. But the librarians are really, really nervous about this, right? In terms of keeping up with technology and being able to offer this technology-infused programs. And we always kind of start with, let's buy this technology. Let's have this stuff in our libraries, right? So I'm not saying stuff is not important. I'm convinced stuff is important. Stuff is definitely needed. And by stuff, I mean like computers or tablets or circuits or whatever, 3D printers, right? But how librarians choose to use the stuff to facilitate learning of emerging literacies is the part that's really, really hard, I think. And they get nervous about it because they're very focused on the stuff. Like, how do I know, how can I use this, right? How to use this stuff? And they tend to forget sometimes about the learning part of it. So, so in this program, why I designed this program is I wanted librarians to learn how to facilitate technology-enabled programming, even if they don't know much about the technology. So new technologies emerge as we speak. So the skill to keep up with technology is not something that we cover in this program. I mean, we really don't care what type of technology, right? Skills such as being able to mentor, being able to facilitate, being able to engage community partners to assist with technology, knowing about youth development and how you can leverage those youth developments so that teens can actually learn by themselves, right? And then engaging teens to help each other, sort of peer mentoring. So these are the skills that librarians should have. And this is one of the reasons that I created this program.